Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the HTBox AllReady community stand-up. We are talking about the AllReady project, which is part of the Humanitarian Toolbox, a suite of code bases. The idea, generally speaking, is that we've got code that we are curating through contributors from around the world for several projects that can be used for free by nonprofits and organizations who are looking to help others. AllReady itself is a project built primarily in .NET. There's some JavaScript bits on the front end. We've got some Azure components. We've got a bunch of really interesting tech stack. And the point of AllReady is to help people get ready ahead of some big event. Then now that event might be a disaster. It might be a community organization that is looking to get food banks distributed. It might be the installation of smoke alarms. It could be small in scale, large in scale. The idea is just to help with efficiencies for organizing resources and volunteers to make action happen locally. So that's what this project's about. We have on the call today Tony and Steve, who are joining us from elsewhere in the world, as am I, and we're happy to have everybody joining us, and we're happy to have these guys on the call. We've seen some activity. We've been talking about this push that we're doing. There are 5 MVP regions around the world, Microsoft MVP regions, and we have reached out, and we had over 75 participants in our intro video, and we walked through the code base and kind of got everybody up to speed on where things are at and the kinds of ways that you can contribute. We've got a project set up on GitHub, so you can go in and just pull items off the queue, start working on those. Just let us know that you're working on them, and we'll help you get starting to commit. And we've seen some activity there. I'll just hand it over to Tony really quick, and Tony, you can give us a bit of an update on what's going on the repo.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, James. It's great to be back on one of the stand-ups. I've been a little absent for recent times in terms of getting my voice or face out there. Today, it's just my voice. So running the numbers, we've got over 3,500 commits and past 150 contributors, which in alone are great numbers and showing the activity. One of the things I'll focus in on is, as you mentioned, there's the recent push. And we've had a lot of folks come, access the project, star it, as well as fork it and bring it into their own areas. There's been about 45 or so new forks in the last couple of weeks. And that's great, and that's what we want to see first and foremost in terms of people engaging, pulling down the project, taking a look at it. But what we'd love to kind of make a call to action around is, once you've got that fork, look at some of the issues, as James just set up on that project. Start working on an issue and go ahead and make a pull request. We definitely want to see those forks turn into pull requests, because that shows that folks are volunteering their time with the project and contributing something that's going to get pulled into the main repository and ultimately get deployed. So got a lot of activity, a lot of folks over the past here a few weeks that have been engaging with the project, but really want to make the call to move to pull requests and pull down some of those issues with the project. I know we've got a number of issues and areas around some code cleanup, which is an easy way to get into it. There's always sort of bugs and issues, as well as I think there's some stuff going on with UX, if I'm not mistaken, and that will help create some opportunities for folks to make those pull requests, because some UX can be, small, easy little first fixes, which help with your first pull request, as well as might be a little bit more bigger and more invasive, and that'll help you have a bigger impact on the code base.
Absolutely. And actually, let's touch on that UX aspect just a little bit here. Steve, a couple weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago now, you did a codeathon, and that was kind of the focus over there. So what kind of changes did we see in the, talking about impact and people making contributions from the community, what kind of changes were you able to realize in just a day?
Yeah, it was a huge number of sort of little bits and pieces. So we had Chris just do an initial pass prior to the codeathon, and it was simple things like naming fields consistently, working on making sure the labels and the help messages are clear, and those kinds of changes, which on the surface feel very small and straightforward, but actually they have a really big impact. If a user can't find the way around the site, doesn't know where they're going next, or understand what they're doing wrong, they're just going to give up. They're going to leave the site, and ultimately they're not going to complete the action on there. So finding things like that was really valuable, and having people just able to jump on those without too much knowledge of the platform, which is really good. You don't need a lot of experience with the full domain to be able to work on those sorts of subtle changes, but they have a big impact to the overall sort of usability of the whole site.
Absolutely.
we've got some sort of bigger pieces that are going to come out of that around sort of structuring the layout, and we'll hopefully get some issues in around those soon.
So Steve and I, we're actually going to, we want to help everybody get over the hump. If we've got like almost 4 dozen new people who are out there and forking this project, we know that there's some people on the precipice of making a contribution, or we hope that they are anyways. And we want to take away any of the anxiety about making your first pull request. So we're going to go into the brave new world of live coding, and Steve and I are going to do a session. We're going to do it together. That way we can, we can be working on the code, we can be interacting, we can be answering questions and everything. So this is going to be at 5:30 p.m. GMT or 10:30 Central Time, wherever you are in the world. It'll be happening at the same time. It'll just be a different look on your clock than it will be for ours. But join from wherever you can. That'll be on February 22nd. If things go well, we'll try and do another one here. We do have the MVP Summit coming up in about 10 days, 12 days here, I guess. So we're trying to get as many people in coding as much as possible. We might try and redo this again ahead of the MVP Summit, but if not, we'll continue afterwards and until we get to that goalpost of 125 pull requests from the 5 regions. So Thursday, February 22nd at 5:30 p.m. GMT or 11:30 Central. Join Steve and I. We'll get some links out there on social media, and you'll be able to follow along and watch us as we hacksaw some things together and get a pull request out there. Tony, anything else from you before we close off today's call?
Just a couple thoughts. Number one is look forward to the live coding session. Hopefully I'll be able to attend and look over your shoulders and tell you when you're missing semicolons, which I'm sure would be very helpful. And additionally, as we talked about, look at turning those forks into pull requests, look at the UX issues, as well as one of the things we do a lot on this project is however you'd like to contribute. If it's helping refine the issues, if it's helping going in and analyzing the project for UX, for usability, helping us refine requirements, and then certainly what we talk the most about, writing code and contributing to the project. Any of those vehicles is a way to contribute and volunteer with your technical skills and expertise and help nonprofits so that they can get cutting edge software without necessarily having to go through the whole build process. Awesome. Thanks, Tony. Anything else from your end, Steve?
No, that's it. Looking forward to Thursday.
Yeah, okay. We'll see everyone Thursday at 5:30 GMT. We'll talk then. Have a great week, everyone. Bye now.